Previously on Nerd Wars.
Okay, I think Goku has infinite speed.
Wait, what?
You may
At
prove
Boo
it?
Saga, bro? At
Yes.
Boo Saga, for real? Are you
Yes.
serious?
Yes.
Infinite speed?
Yes.
All right.
Man, you mind if I ask you a quick question?
I was just trying to rile you up there, bro. Go ahead.
Do you know what infinity divided by 1000 is?
No, I don't. Tell me.
It's infinity.
Yes.
Okay, just so you guys have some context, I came across this debate with Vulcan and AeroFlame about whether or not Dragon Ball characters have infinite speed during the Buu saga. I personally thought this claim was outlandish, and unfortunately, Vulcan was attacked by his mother before he could finish.
Bro, I'm just... Woo!
Now it's time for me to take his place.
I will finish what you started.
Also, in the Discord chat, my username is Boss the Beefy, just in case you were confused and looking for the Weeaboo Warrior.
And here we go.
I think this. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, listen. Do you know what? This boss beefy dude, I was talking to him earlier. He seems reasonable, right? Listen, please don't be unreasonable during this conversation.
You talking to me or talking to him?
I was talking to him because he was perfectly reasonable when we were talking about Star Wars. You know, we were going through.
I'm not going to be screaming or anything, and I don't think I'm going to be attacked by my mom during the conversation.
Alright, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Light's still on.
Alright, you want to tell me why you think that Goku doesn't have infinite speed?
We're talking during the Buu saga, right?
Sure.
Okay, because that's what I saw in your debate with Vulcan in the other video.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your reason was because Buu could travel across the universe to destroy it. Over time, he had to have infinite speed because the universe is infinitely big.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a couple problems with that. The first one is Buu had access to teleportation both times he was destroying the universe. The first with Bibbidi's teleportation magic, plus his spaceship, and then the second time he had instant transmission. So technically he did have infinite speed due to teleportation, but that doesn't translate to his movement speed.
Okay, so my premise is that Kid Buu has infinite speed, right?
Yeah.
And you just conceded that Kid Buu has infinite speed.
Well, with instant transmission or being teleported
But
by Bibbidi.
my premise is that Kid Buu has infinite speed, and you just said that Kid Buu has infinite speed.
With instant transmission.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Implying
It doesn't
his
matter.
movement speed.
No. We're not talking about implications. I said that my premise is that Kid Buu has infinite speed. Correct or incorrect?
Yes.
Factually speaking, not implications, no assumptions, none of that. My premise is, what am I saying? Repeat it to me.
That Kid Buu has infinite speed.
And the thing you just agreed to is what?
Well, I said technically. Teleportation could be argued not as speed. It could be.
It doesn't matter what you argue it as, because you said it's infinite speed, not me. You said it.
Okay, so do you agree Kid Buu is only infinite speed with instant transmission?
No, but you've already agreed that Kid Buu's infinite speed. So this debate's over. You just conceded.
But that's not I'm saying without instant transmission, he is an infinite.
No,
speed.
that wasn't what you were saying. The debate
that's clearly what I meant. You're just you're just putting words in my mouth. Then
I'm not putting any words in your mouth. You're putting words in your mouth. You're adding
okay.
extra
You
stuff.
are taking what I'm saying into your own meaning. Then
I'm not giving it its own meaning. I'm taking everything exactly as you said it. Everything you said to me, I take it as face value. In the same way, everything I said to you, I want it taken as face value. I don't like implications. I don't like semantics. This is why I don't like texting, because you can say, well, I meant this, this, and this. When you're speaking, you have to communicate verbally. You have to think and say what you mean.
Yeah,
right?
But then you just clarified.
I didn't clarify anything.
I
said exactly what I meant. Yeah. Everything that I've said in this debate so far, I've meant it.
But yeah, and you already said that. I said, do you think he has infinite speed without instant transmission?
And you said no, yes. No, that's not. Yes. I never said anything about instant transmission.
I said
I've never
and
the
I
words.
Asked you.
You said, I'm gonna go over this one more time, and after this, I'm gonna let you backpedal so we can continue this debate. But this conversation that we're having right now lets me know how this debate's gonna go. Okay? My premise is that Kid Buu has infinite speed. I don't want to hear any back and forth. All I want to hear is a yes or a no.
You're just putting me in position to try to just win the argument. It's not as simple as a yes or no question. It's
It
speed
is a
wise.
yes or no
If you
question.
include instant transmission as speed, then
No.
yes. But if you don't
This
include
is
that as
why
speed,
it's as simple
then
as a yes
no.
or no question.
You're
Because
just.
I'm asking
I don't have to
you.
do what you say. You're just telling me to. You're putting me in a position where you are like, oh, I win because I made you say yes.
I'm asking you to tell me what I said.
Do you
Is that
include?
a yes
Okay.
or no question?
Does your question include instant transmission?
Here's my. Listen to the question. Listen to the question.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll humor you. Yes, with infinite.
Okay.
If he has instant transmission, so we can move on from that.
No. Why do you keep adding stuff? Why do you keep adding stuff? Wait. Do you have your guys in here? Do you have your guy who you said you wanted to have moderate? Is he in here?
No, but sure, so could moderate if he wants.
Okay, sure. So, were you in here the whole time? Can you unmute? Is he willing to unmute? Because I only
I'm
want
pretty
to
sure.
have someone moderate if they're able to talk, if they're able to like interject with their voice. Because you're adding stuff
He says
when
okay,
I
he'll
when I
pass. How
didn't when I
about
didn't say something. Okay. So how about True or Key Issues
that's
Garrett
fine.
or Smiley
I
or
don't
Big
care.
Brain Pizza? Okay, True.
Sure, I'll moderate.
True. Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
What was my premise? When you came in here and asked me what this debate was about, what did you say? What did I say it was about?
Yeah, you're talking about how True had this really huge.
Oh my god, I fucking hate
Goku's
this.
infinite speed.
Okay, and what side did I say I was representing? What was my premise?
This side with Goku having infinite speed.
And then he had the side of what?
Goku didn't have infinite speed.
And then he said that Kid Buu, and then he said that Goku scales to Kid Buu, and then he said that Kid Buu scales to what?
Infinite speed based on his teleportation.
Okay, so he has infinite speed.
If you want to play that game, sure, I'll just say yes.
What game? What game?
Okay.
It's pretty
Hold
like you're making this like a weird just
It's not
equation.
weird.
I'm telling you what I mean. With instant transmission, just like any person who could teleport, not excluding Dragon Ball, literally anyone with teleportation, including people with regular human reactions, if they can teleport, they technically have infinite speed, but we weren't, and you know that's not what we were talking about. So there's no point in scaling. You can't scale teleportation. Goku's instant transmission hasn't gotten any faster since he's got it in the beginning. So
Hold on, wait.
I gave you what I said. Without instant transmission, Kid Buu doesn't have infinite speed. With it, he could teleport anywhere he wants in the universe or out of the universe. And so you could, if you disagree with that, you could give me your reasonings why you think he has infinite speed without instant transmission. Or we could both agree he doesn't have infinite speed without it, and that he can with it. It's not. It's not a yes or no question.
When you say speed, what are you defining as?
Speed is how fast you can move your body one place to another with your own power. Like not teleportation is what I'm trying to debate. Not teleportation.
Okay.
We could debate teleportation, but I agree that's instant.
Stop. So I'm asking, why would you bring up instant transmission if you didn't think it was?
Because I was using that to debunk his idea that Kid Buu could travel around the universe at infinite speeds because he doesn't need to because he can teleport.
Hold on. But he never said that he could teleport, right? He didn't make it. So the only thing that Aero said was that he destroyed the universe, or he's going to destroy it over time. Aero.
Mm-hmm.
Aero.
Yep.
I don't want to misremember. So,
yep, that's correct.
So he never brought up teleportation. So why did you bring it up?
Because I've watched his previous debate on this, and it was clear they were talking about movement speed in that debate. And so I was using this as like a counter to his points he made in that video.
Okay, so first of all, I'm just trying to keep things on track. So what you should do is you should only counter points that people have made in this debate, right?
Okay, then I asked him to clarify. I was like, okay, if you think he's only if he could only do that due to instant transmission, then I'll say, okay, I didn't understand your point, and I will agree on it. But I asked him to clarify if he also thinks he could do it without instant transmission. And he did say yes for a second, which I could go back and because it's recording.
Sure. Okay, let's do it this way, right? So we'll go back to the point where Arrow said he can destroy the universe over time. I think is the play, right? So what's your response to that?
Yeah, he can because he's immortal.
No, stop. Hold on.
He just conceded again.
I thought you were done talking. Sorry.
No, sorry.
That's two concessions.
Okay, chill. So. All Arrow has said, all the information that you know about it, forget everything else, is Arrow says that he can destroy the universe over time. What's your rebuttal to this? Don't bring in outside knowledge or something to other debate. What's your counter to this specific point?
Eventually, technically, based off statements, he should be able to, because he could go from one planet to the other, teleporting, blowing them up one at a time. Boo's immortal. He doesn't have a time limit to do it.
Okay. So you agree that he has to go planet by planet
I mean,
and do it that way, correct?
he could, but I mean, technically, he could be scaled up to multi-solar system level, so you could say solar systems, whatever. He's not going to do it at once. He's going to do it over
Okay.
time.
So the initial thing that I need you to show me is that it's in character for Boo to go planet by planet or solar system by solar system via teleportation. I
Well,
need
he
you to
did
show
that
me
in
that,
the anime.
please.
I don't
Can you
remember.
show me that in the manga? Because the manga and the anime tend to disagree on some points. So I can get you the Kid Buu being able to destroy the universe.
Okay, I posted it in the debates versus battle.
Yeah, where does it say that he was teleported?
Well, I mean, we don't know if he was teleported or not in the first time, but we do know he was with Bibbidi. Bibbidi was controlling him, and it said he did multiple planets in a few years.
Yeah.
So he technically.
And if he's teleporting, it shouldn't be way faster. He should be going from planet to planet instantly.
Yeah, but
Why would
Bibbidi
it
was
be taking
controlling him
years?
back then. He was only listening
Okay,
to Bibbidi.
but if Bibbidi was controlling him and Bibbidi wanted to destroy what was Bibbidi's goal with Kid Buu exactly?
I believe he wanted to kill the Kais and take over the universe. I'm not exactly remember on his exact goal.
So why was he? No, it says that he was it was born to kill and destroy.
Yeah, that's why he created him.
Right, and then his end goal is to destroy the universe, right? That's what he was built for. That's what his
Was
end
that
goal is.
Bibbidi's goal?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his end goal.
I'm not
You
sure. I would
said
have to look back on that, but
kill and destroy the Kais. Do you have that scan?
no, I don't have that specific scan.
Okay.
But I would like to see a scan saying that was his goal to destroy the universe, because if you could find that, then I'll say
Yeah, it
okay.
says it was born to kill and destroy.
Yeah, Boo was. He created him as a weapon.
Yeah.
So he wanted him to kill and destroy, just like if you had like a nuke or a missile, it's for killing and destroying.
Right, and in a nuke or a missile is meant to destroy everything, right?
Yeah,
like
the target.
in the surrounding area, the target. So if the target was the Kais, why is he destroying planets, like just random planets?
Maybe he just wanted to take over. Like Frieza also destroyed planets, had Saiyans kill people, and
Yeah, he destroyed planets. He didn't do what he said. Like there was an end goal to him destroying planets. Also, this is old Kai stating that the universe will be destroyed, and then I can get you more scans for Kid Buu.
Yeah, but in that scan he did have instant transmission, I believe, right? Or no, that's before he got it. Never mind.
Yeah, and then can you also prove to me that his main method of traveling would be instant transmission from that point on? Why would he not just fly from planet to planet?
I mean, maybe he can, but I mean, I'm just saying, but we don't know.
Right, but the only real thing that you've shown is like, well, we know that he can teleport, so why wouldn't he teleport from planet to planet? When there's no evidence of Kid Buu ever traveling via planet to planet. Like
Okay, so then but I'm just bringing up how there is the possibility. So if we don't know either way, it's sketchy just to say, oh, he has infinite speed because it's possible he did that.
Right, but the whole idea of him having infinite speed in the first place is you saying that Bibbidi was teleporting him around.
No, I'm saying he
evidence
could,
of that.
so therefore we can't say for sure he has infinite speed.
He could, but what's the evidence that he did? Like, there's no evidence that he did.
But what's the evidence he didn't?
Like, there's what do you that you can't? You're okay. You can't ask me to prove, and that's shifting the burden of proof.
Okay. What's the evidence that he went flying from planet to planet without Bibbidi's ship?
That's still shifting the burden of proof. You made the assertion that Bibbidi is teleporting him from planet to planet. That's the initial assertion that you made. Okay, and I'm asking you to provide evidence for that assertion.
But that's not
Okay,
the assertion I made.
because my evidence, my counter evidence would be he can't, if Bibbidi isn't teleporting him, the only way he'd be able to get from planet to planet is through flight. That would be my evidence.
Mhm.
So if you cannot prove that Bibbidi was teleporting him around, then I therefore have evidence for my assertion. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So the burden of proof is upon you to provide
But
evidence
why couldn't
that he
they?
was being teleported.
Why couldn't they take his ship as well, just to fly from place to place? Because we know ships can fly across the entire universe.
Okay, what is the evidence that he took the ship? Like,
Well,
why can you show me evidence that Bibbidi had enough control over Kid Buu that he could just take the ship?
yeah, but
That he could just keep him in the ship, have him sitting down?
the point isn't
That's
to
what I'm
say.
saying. Like, you have to make more assumptions. Are you
Yeah, I know, but
familiar
there's
with
assumptions on both sides. That's the problem.
there?
I'm
But
saying.
but here's the thing. There's less assumptions on my side. I'm not assuming. I'm not assuming that he's teleporting. I'm not assuming that Bibbidi has enough control over him to get on the ship. I'm just assuming that Kid Buu is just doing what he's meant to do, and that is killing and destroying.
Okay.
And therefore he's flying from planet to planet. That takes no assumptions. You're making an assumption that he was being teleported. You're making an assumption that Bibbidi had enough control over him to get on the ship. That's just it's an ontological razor. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can't. That's not a valid way to try and like debunk the points that I'm presenting to you.
Okay. Let's say that's the
you
case. Then
Okay.
it says in this scan, it says in only a few years he destroyed only several hundred planets. It doesn't say thousands or millions or billions or infinite. So technically, by that scan alone, he could fly around, destroy several hundred planets in a few years, exactly as you said. He still wouldn't even be close to infinite speed, if just going off what he actually destroyed, not old Kai's assumptions of what he's going to destroy or whatever. He's been wrong before. We know he's destroyed several hundred planets. That's it.
Was old Kai wrong
He's been
before
wrong
in
before?
Dragon Ball Z?
In Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, when was he wrong?
I don't know. Well, he wasn't Super, so.
Well, we're not talking about Super. You said you
Same
wanted to talk about
character.
the Buu saga. Yeah, but you want to talk about the Buu saga because if you want to do that, we can talk about shit like Kid Buu having God Key and different and other such retcons that would be
Mhm.
within the verse. Like, if you want to talk about the Buu saga and keep it contained to the Buu saga, then we can do that. If you want to spread it out to the entirety of the Dragon to the verse, then we can do that as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay. Well, then also I'd like to bring up how I know this is another super argument, but I had the scan ready, so I want to bring it up. But I think it's this one. Okay, no, hold on. Is it this one? Okay, yeah. If we go by this, I don't know if you disagree with this or not, but the Frieza Force, they said they would be able to take over 70% of the universe. So by your logic, they would also have the means to have infinite speeds. Because you said in your
What?
other debate that, like, infinity divided by 1,000 is still infinity. So 70% of infinity would still be infinity. So the Frieza Force, just not even Buu or anything, has the ability to go across the universe. And also, the universe. Is there any scans?
Yeah, why
saying the
can't this
universe
guy
is,
just be wrong?
maybe he is, but is there any evidence that the Dragon Ball universe
Yeah,
is?
this guy could just be wrong. We know that it's impossible for someone to understand things like centers and different points in the
Mhm.
universe, except for that one guy like whose name is like Juwowo, who they call like omniscient.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So why would this guy be? Not even Bulma, who's like who has like the most advanced mind in the Dragon Ball Z universe, who's like making time machines and like these ships that can travel across like light year faster than like the Saiyan ships that were built by the Tuffles and shit like that. Like that doesn't make any. I would just say that this dude is just wrong.
Possibly, but also Dispo.
It wouldn't be possibly. You're making more. You have to make more assumptions for him to be right, to counter the evidence of him being wrong. Like, there's more
Okay.
evidence to him being wrong than him being right. So it wouldn't be like a possibility thing. I provided counter evidence that debunks that particular scan.
What about Dispo being impressed that Jiren is faster than a spaceship and could go from planet to planet really quickly?
I would
This
just
one
say
right
that
here.
they just speak in hyperbole. Sometimes they say weird shit, like when Goku says, "Wow, Jiren's body is like a brick wall." We don't think that
But
Goku can't
that,
break
yeah,
through a
that's just
brick
the he's
wall.
just comparing him to something
Yeah, he's
that's
just
known as
talking
hard. Yeah,
weird.
but
In
he
the same
says
way, a ship that can go planet to planet, that's less impressive than Gotenks who like circled the globe in a couple of seconds. Like
that's not less impressive
that's
than
not
that.
super impressive. Or excuse me,
I said Gotenks circling the planet is way less impressive than a spaceship crossing different planets.
from going planet to planet.
Yeah, a
You
spaceship
think you
going from
think
planet to
Gotenks
planet.
you think Gotenks circling around the planet like 8 times in one panel is less impressive than a spaceship going able to go planet to planet? You think interplanetary travel
Well,
is like
well, it depends how quickly it's going. Like if you
how
go
quickly
from
was the ship going?
I'm pretty sure much faster than light from like Earth to Namek in the time frame they did. People
Yeah, what
calculated
was the
that.
time frame?
It was like a month or so or something, a few months.
And how far is the distance between Earth and Namek?
I'm pretty sure they said it was out of the galaxy or it was like in another quadrant or something. So just even
Another quadrant? Can you show me that? Because North Kai also had a pull in that quadrant as well. Like he was able to see into it. He was able to talk to Goku, and no one else intervened except for North Kai.
hold on
It
a
would have
second.
to
We
be in the
know it's
same
not in our
quadrant.
solar system at the very least. So let's. How long does it take for something to get from Earth to out of the solar system? If it's going at light speed.
I think 4 years, 4.37 light years
So that just
is the
getting out
nearest
of that
solar
solar
system.
system. Okay, and also I just remembered they took Bulma's spaceship from Earth to Jupiter and like almost or Saturn or whatever it was. I can't remember, but almost instantly, which would also be more
Almost
impressive.
instantly.
Yeah, Bulma was confused what was going on, and all of a sudden she was there and had no idea how
Yeah,
she
can
got
you
there.
show like what do you mean? You're not giving me time frames.
Okay,
Like you haven't
can we? Do you
quantified.
want to use
That's
anime
all I
time
want.
frames because I know that people don't like to use anime time frames, but
No, I don't like to use anime time frames.
okay, but even whatever, going out of the solar system, obviously it took them less than 4 years, so they're going faster
Uh-huh.
than light.
And
And
then are you
Gotenks'
also aware
feet is
that
at
Jiren
best around light
transcends
speed,
time?
so that proves my point enough.
Are you aware of the fact that Jiren transcends time?
Yes, I know that, but I'm not arguing Jiren. We're arguing Buu Saga.
Okay. So you said that no. You brought this up in the first place. You
No,
said
I'm not
that
saying super
Dispo
can't be
was
used. No, you
impressed.
could use super. You could use super
Yeah,
arguments,
you
but I'm
just
just
said that
saying
Dispo was
we're not
was
arguing.
impressed by.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that Dispo was impressed by Jiren being faster than a spaceship that can move between planets, but Jiren transcends time.
Okay, but I mean, that was more via power, not he was. It wasn't outspeeding it, but I could see
Yeah,
using that argument.
if you're
I could
above
see.
the concept of time, it doesn't matter. Like that doesn't what? That doesn't matter.
Okay, but Jiren, I'm sure Jiren didn't power up to that level to just fly to another planet.
He didn't even power up against Hit. He just kept moving. He just ignored it. And he was still like suppressed to the point where he could like hit and not kill him. Like he wasn't like flexing his power or anything. He was just there. So you
Okay.
still haven't.
But I
You still
mean,
haven't.
that you could argue Dispo didn't know Jiren's full power or whatever. It was impressive for Dispo. That's all we need to know. It obviously wasn't impressive for Jiren. It's just Dispo couldn't replicate the
Also,
feat.
this is the manga, which follows a
Yeah.
different continuity
Yeah, I
from the
agree with that.
anime, which follows a different
Yeah, I
continuity
know.
from the main. Okay, so this doesn't matter to me.
But
Okay, so do you have any counters for the actual stuff I presented, like you haven't presented any counters from the Boo saga or Super that you said you wanted to stay in. Like, you
okay,
haven't
well,
given me any.
first off, is there any statement that proves that the Dragon Ball universe is infinite in size?
Yeah, I have a couple. There's one. Here's a statement about its galaxies. And here's a third one. That's three statements from the Daizenshuu
Okay,
that
but there's no statements in the actual manga.
Huh?
Is there any statement in the actual manga? Just wondering.
Is there? I don't know. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Well, I would take guide statements with a grain of salt, especially with the super retconning with multiple universes and whatnot.
Why would there being multiple universes make it so they can't all be infinite?
I mean, they could all be infinite, but it just, I mean, Saying it works
Yeah,
like
it wouldn't.
ours. Well, one thing scientists don't even think our universe that we could transverse is even infinite in itself, and that one scan says it's like our universe. So
Yeah,
you
and
could
then
argue
and
that
then
it
our
isn't infinite, just
scientists
like
also can't like travel through time
yeah. But
with the
it's
universe.
that
They
that
can't. That's
scan
an
that
appeal to
one scan
reality.
says it's similar to our universe. So if it
It's similar
is,
to it says the universe. It says it's the only portion of the DBU world that even remotely resembles reality, being based off of the actual universe.
yeah,
As such, it consists of planets, stars, and other celestial
yeah,
bodies. So it's saying that the only thing that's in common is the fact that it's like it's infinite in size and it has like countless celestial
hmm
bodies within it. That's the only thing that's the same.
hmm
So
okay,
it being like so the thing about the scientists thinking that we wouldn't be able to traverse infinity, that doesn't really matter because it just wouldn't the science that's the scientists wouldn't be the same. Just be
hmm
appeal to reality. Also the guidebook being grain of salt, it's not like these aren't just like I don't know the guidebook is like Akira Toriyama saying, yeah, this is like information about the universe I created, like
hmm
this is the world I built and this is like what the things are. Like you can't just say it's like
yeah. But if you're gonna argue author intent, I think we both know Toriyama's author intent wasn't to have them have infinite speeds at that point.
why would he not want them to have infinite speed? He's having them
He
cross
has
an
them because
infinite
he has them
universe.
traveling across planets. He showed off Goten being so fast he could circle the
Yeah,
planet multiple times.
and then he had Kid Buu being able to destroy like cross the entire universe.
We've never seen him do that. It was just
It's
implied that he was going to.
because they stopped him. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They stopped him. They stopped him from doing it.
hmm And if it was infinite, we don't know because as we learned in Super, there's like only what like 20 or 30 planets with life on them. It's like after once he destroys all those, like honestly, they probably don't even care anymore. It's like he's just destroying empty rocks and suns at that point. So when they say destroy the universe, they might mean the observable universe or where there's life. It's like
Okay,
what's the like?
so the
Like why would you be afraid of someone destroying rocks in an empty, lifeless universe? It's like, and you could also argue that he's powerful enough to destabilize the dimensions like Super Boo did in the anime, but I don't know if we should get into that since it's filler. But
okay. So the only thing that you've been able to do so far is give me appeals to reality in order to debunk, or not appeals to reality, appeal to possible probability in order to debunk my arguments. Okay.
mhm.
I've given you multiple pieces of evidence that suggest and state one thing, just blatantly, multiple pieces of evidence. And all you've been able to say is, well, it's possible that, or it's maybe likely that you haven't given any evidence to support your claim that it's possible that these things could happen. You're just bringing up things. You're just bringing up headcanon to me and hoping that I agree for whatever reason. I need you to provide evidence that these things that you're asserting are possibilities. Otherwise, I'm just able to dismiss them. Like I said, it's an ontological razor. You can't just keep asserting things and have no evidence for it.
I mean, I gave you some evidence, you just didn't agree with it. But I mean, I could see
What
why
evidence did you give me?
that Boo. Well, okay. First off, that Boo only destroyed several hundred planets in a few years. Which, if he had infinite speed, you think he would do it quicker than that?
Right, and I gave you my counter to that.
Which was
I responded to that. It's still there. The statement is still made that he's going to destroy the entire
mhm,
universe within 1,000 years.
mhm.
Old Kai said that, and then you said, "Well, Old Kai is wrong." And I asked you to give me a single instance in the Boo saga where Old Kai was wrong, and you couldn't give me one.
Well, yeah, I don't have the full Boo
So
saga
we did
memorized. Maybe he has been
we
wrong with
did
me,
have
but
the okay, but you have to you challenge me to this debate,
yeah.
okay?
hmm
Like I don't have sympathy of you not being prepared and having your evidence ready. I
Well,
came
yeah.
with
I mean,
my
I'm sure
evidence ready.
not many people would have prepared like the entire manga, but I mean, I thought I presented pretty good evidence. Like he could teleport,
But you
blah
haven't
blah blah.
provided any. Like you haven't provided you've given me reasoning. But you haven't provided me any evidence to support the reasoning that you're giving me. All the reasoning that I've given you, I've backed it up with evidence. So at this point,
I
we can go
mean,
to
I would say
conclusions.
Dispo being a surprise at being faster than a spaceship is evidence, but you
And you've
dismiss that.
already agreed that the manga, the first
It's,
Super,
it's
is in a
different than the
different
anime.
canon.
It's different
Is
from
in
the
a different, is in a completely different canon. I don't even have to address
yeah,
that.
not from the
Why?
original manga though. It's
Yeah,
from a
I don't have
different
to
canon
address
from the
that.
Super
Yes, it
anime.
is a different canon from the original manga
If
because
anything, the Super anime
The
is the one that follows the
Super,
anime.
the Dragon Ball Super anime is canon to the Dragon Ball Super, is canon to Dragon Ball Kai, and Dragon
Yeah,
Ball Kai is canon to the Dragon Ball manga. It's a canon retelling, right? And
yeah.
we know that the Dragon Ball Super manga follows a different chain of events than the anime, which therefore means that the manga is not canon to the original storyline. You can't prove that. The original
Well, there was
storyline
a
can be
Viz.
canon to Dragon Ball Super,
Viz
but
promoted
just
it
because
as the canon continuation. I don't know if you want to trust Viz, but
the canon, yeah, and this is gets contradicted because the actual canon continuation, that being the Super anime, gets contradicted by the manga. Like and it's and like
I mean, I
it's just
have
two
them. I
completely
think they were
different
both the
things.
same level of canon. They're
And
just
then
explained
all
separately.
of this doesn't matter because you've already agreed that the Super manga is in a different canon, so none
Yeah,
of this
it's in
matters.
the different canon from the Super anime. It's not in a
All
different
right, do you
canon
want to
from the
go?
Super
Can we go to
manga.
conclusions? Or have
Okay,
you made
well,
all your
okay.
points
There,
that
I have
you?
one more thing I just wanted to say that I
Go
saw
ahead.
in the last debate is that I saw you bring up the birder said he was light speed thing. I just wanted to say that is a mistranslation. I don't know if
Sure.
you figured that out by then.
Nah, I don't care. That's
Yeah,
fine.
because he never said that. I just
That
wanted to
yeah,
get
that's
that out
fine.
there. But
That's
yeah,
fine. I don't care.
yeah, okay. But
All right. Do you want to go to
okay,
conclusions?
you could say your closing statements first. I don't care.
Okay. So in conclusion, Beefy wasn't able to give any counter evidence to debunk my evidence. I gave multiple statements. I gave multiple in character claims. I gave multiple lines of reasoning, lines of logic, and I gave multiple just guidebook statements and statements from Toriyama himself that said that the universe was infinite and that Kid Buu was going to cross it. The only thing that he was able to give me was appeals to probability multiple times over. He didn't provide any evidence outside of things from the Dragon Ball Super manga, which he agreed to not being canon, to the anime, which is the canon continuation to the original manga, i.e., the source material. Uh, and in general, he just didn't really have any decent arguments that held water. And that's why I believe that I won this debate.
Okay. I'll say that I brought up how Boo had the options of teleportation, so he had the ability to destroy the universe, be it with flying or without it, we don't know. So if you don't know, you can't say for sure either way. And if you can't say for sure either way, you should go with how they're consistently portrayed throughout the rest of the series. Um, we saw that Frieza's soldiers thought they could cross an infinite space. If the universe is infinite, and we want to believe that, they could cross 70% of the universe. And we saw that Dispo, who's someone who should be faster than light at this point, or much faster than light, or by your opinion, infinite speed, was impressed by traveling from planet to planet really quickly, which wouldn't make sense if he had infinite speed. Yeah, pretty much. There's not enough evidence to just definitely say that they have infinite speed at this point. I think it's heavily contradicted by every other feat. As you mentioned, the Gotenks speed feat, who is someone Super Saiyan Gotenks is not that far from Kid Buu, yet he only flew around the planet a few times in the anime's portrayal, a few seconds, and if you go by the manga, it was actually 30 minutes and a nap, so that's really hard to say how fast he did it. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. We just can't know for sure, and I don't think you presented enough evidence to clearly say something as outlandish as that they have infinite speed.
So I'm just gonna interject right here at the end. I think everyone's finished, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
So, boss, I just want to make something. So I want to give you an example. So, you have hands, right? You're like a physically capable human being, right?
Sure.
Sure. So now, let's say I said, "Oh, so it's possible for you to murder somebody, correct?"
Yeah.
So now would I, if I took you to court and just said, well, there's a possibility that you murdered someone, so let's put you in jail. Would you accept that?
Obviously not. But that's not how
What?
that's not a
But
very
hold on,
good
but why not?
analogy.
But no, I think it's very analogous because what you were giving were possibilities based on evidence that you already had. So he has a ship, right? And there's someone that can teleport, right? Those are both that's information that you have beforehand,
Mhm.
and then you come to the conclusion that he must have used those, right? So you have hands, and you said you're physically able. so you'd be able to commit murder. So you must have committed murder. Both of those
I have
analogies
an analogy for you that I think is
work.
much more likely.
Go for it.
Like what's actually going on. It's like if you
Mm-hmm.
found someone dead and stabbed, it would be
Mm-hmm.
like, and if there was blood on my hand, but you don't see a
Mm-hmm.
knife, and it's like him trying to argue that I must have killed him with my hand by stabbing him through, rather than stabbing him with a knife. If I had let's say I had a knife in my back pocket, but you just didn't see it, or if I threw it in the bushes, it's like obviously I didn't stab someone through with my hand because it's not possible. It doesn't line up with any other human being that strong.
Sure, but then that wouldn't be a possibility, right? Because so Arrow said you were arguing from possibility because you had certain sets of information and then you saying it was possible. Now, I'm not trying to get involved. I'm just trying to help you out. I don't necessarily care about the debate, whatever. But I'm just trying to say you can't argue from possibility because at that point you can make any claim you want, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't just arguing from possibility. Like I brought up statements and he just said that they're wrong. Like he said, "Oh, sorbet's wrong."
No.
Blah blah blah.
No. I'm not talking about because I'm not every single argument.
Okay, so you're saying not all my arguments, but some of them, and I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm not. I never made the. Sorry, sorry, my bad. If you thought I meant that every single argument you were making was an argument for possibility, that's not what I meant. Sorry.
Okay.
What I meant was initially right at the start, a lot of your arguments there. For example, when you said they can teleport, and the ship one where you said they have a ship, both of those are just an appeal to probability with no evidence. You would agree to that now at this point, right?
Yeah.
So you can't make arguments like that because of that. At that point, anybody can make any assumptions and then assert it to be true based on just what's possible.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what my point was, that we can't know if I'm not I'm not saying it's literally impossible for his point to be right. I'm saying we don't know. There's enough evidence both ways to say you can't claim that definitely. So if you can't claim that definitely, you can't reliably use that in a debate.
Can I ask you a question? What's the evidence against him flying?
Flying? I mean, he could fly if you think let's say he was destroying a couple hundred planets per year, like that statement said he actually did. That's fine, and that's only much faster than light or whatever. But he has no feat that indicates, even if he flew or skipped or hopped, that it was infinite speed.
No.
It's based entirely on a statement.
So let's say the statement of him going to destroy the universe is true, right? So let's just assume that's true, and then let's say the universe is infinite, right? Now now you brought up the possibilities. He could either fly, use instant transmission, or use the ship, right? Do you think all three of these are valid as each other?
I would say sure. Yeah, because we can't. There's no evidence either way. Honestly, I don't think so.
No, because we can use process of elimination, right? We can use the character's personality, right? What the character has access to, and what we've seen the character do. Correct?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we go by the anime, we saw Bibbidi was always with them. So, I mean, if you don't want to use the anime, that's one thing.
But hold up. But sure, Bibbidi being with him, do you have evidence that Bibbidi teleported him?
No, but if he was there, they probably went on his ship at the very least.
There you go. Probability again.
Yeah. Okay. So
right?
You think what did he fly next to him on the outside of the ship, or was he following Boo?
Okay, hold up. Did we see them fly on the land on the ship? They were both flying, and then they came and landed on the ship. I don't know much about Dragon Ball, so
no, I don't believe we did. I think we
listen.
Just saw them
all of this is irrelevant, right?
No,
because the argument is that Kid Buu was he's saying that there's no feat. The feat is that Kid Buu was going to do it, and they stopped him. That's the feat. The 2 times Kid Buu was going to destroy the whole universe, he got stopped. He was going to do it twice. Both times he got stopped. That's my evidence, right? And he's trying to say that it's possible that this happened. It's possible that this happened, but he hasn't given any evidence for it. I've given my evidence for Boo being able to fly around. Given my evidence for Boo being able to fly around the universe. That being he was going to do it twice. And I've given my evidence for him being able to destroy the universe. The first being Old Kai stated that Buhan was going to stated that Boo Tanks was going to destroy the whole universe, and he didn't have instant transmission, and he acknowledged that. My opponent acknowledged that, and I also gave the scan of Kid Buu also going to be able to do the same thing, and he was going to do it before Old Kai died. He still hasn't given any debunks to any of my scan. Okay. He hasn't given any arguments. He hasn't given any evidence. That's what all I'm asking for, is evidence. Quick.
Supreme Soup, this is the debate's over, right? I'm just talking to him. I'm just Because I don't care who won. I don't like. I think Arrow won, but whatever. But my
If we want,
So-
can we just
so-
vote real quick? Can we vote first? Get this out of the way.
sure.
Is that fine?
Um,
Are y'all comfortable with voting in DC?
the people in chat, if you guys want to vote
Yeah,
for.
people in chat. Are y'all comfortable with voting?
Also, by the way, anybody that abstains from voting gets banned. So it's your choice, obviously. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that was the end of the debate. Unfortunately, it seems basically all of the voters said AeroFlame won. They must have been paid off, goddammit! However, it seems they were the ones who thought they get to decide who won. But they were mistaken.
I will be the one to decide.
Now I'm gonna turn the tables on them. I'm gonna debunk the audience.
You think anyone but me could do that ever in a billion years? Do you think if God existed, he could do it? The answer is no! If God exists, it's f***ing me!
Probably my biggest problem with Arrow was at the beginning when he refused to accept my premise of Kid Buu technically having infinite speed due to instant transmission, but he doesn't without it. Just because the words "Buu has infinite speed" came out of my mouth, he ran with it, saying I conceded and kept asking me to answer a yes or no question like that proved his point. Instead of acting like a reasonable adult and saying, "Oh, okay, so you admit he has infinite speed with instant transmission, but you think that without it he doesn't?" Well, I disagree with that. I think even without teleportation, he can move at infinite speeds. Thanks for clarifying. Let's debate that instead. Rather, he basically just said, "You said Buu had infinite speed. Yes or no? Yes or no?" Maybe that's how they do debating there. But I think if someone's trying to clarify their point, you should listen and come to an understanding so you know what you want to debate. Not just try to force them into saying something they don't mean. In his arguments, he even says he doesn't like using semantics so people understand exactly what they're saying. But then when I literally try to tell him exactly what I'm saying, he doesn't want to listen. He just wants me to answer a stupid yes or no question when the answer is more complicated than that. It's not like I misunderstood his point either. It would be one thing if he thought Buu only had infinite speed due to instant transmission, and I was actually completely misrepresenting his case. But he actually admitted he thought Buu had infinite speed without it.
Okay, so do you agree Kid Buu is only infinite speed with instant transmission?
No.
Which was exactly what I was trying to debate him on. He even tried to deny he ever said that at one point.
But yeah, and you already said that. I said, do you think he has infinite speed without instant transmission?
And you said no,
yes.
no, that's
You said
not.
yes.
I never said anything about instant transmission.
And was basically just more focused on trying to get his fake debate points and actually have an intelligent discussion with me on the matter. Due to this, I did get a little heated in that moment of the debate, but it's all good. We're all having fun here. My next problem with his argument was that he denied me using anime scenes. I mentioned how Bibbidi was with Buu in the flashback when he destroyed planets, but then he asked me to show it in the manga, implying it didn't matter because it was in the anime only. But then later in this very debate, he says Dragon Ball Kai is canon to the manga. Well, would you look at that? In Dragon Ball Kai, Bibbidi was with Buu. Another thing Arrow and True said was I didn't present any evidence that Bibbidi went with Buu. Well, would you look at that? Bibbidi said, "On to the next planet," to Buu, implying they went there together. Yeah, I know I didn't present this panel during the debate, but I can't predict everything they're gonna ask me and have thousands of different pictures from the entire anime ready. I told them it happened, Arrow tried to say it didn't count and didn't prove anything, and both of them said there was no evidence indicating Buu went with Bibbidi rather than fly on his own. Clearly, they were both wrong. One of Arrow's biggest mistakes was when he tried to argue that Gotank's feat of flying around the world was more impressive than the speed of ships flying from one planet to another. Arrow himself said Gotenks went around the planet 8 times in one panel, which is true, but flying around the planet 7 times in 1 second is only light speed. We don't even know the exact time frame he did those circles in. All we know is he circled the planet a few dozen times and took a nap in under 30 minutes. You could argue the feat isn't even light speed. And if you use the anime time frame, it isn't. But I'll be really generous now. Sure, I'll say it's about light speed or even a bit higher. But as Arrow admitted himself, it takes light over 4 years just to leave our solar system. And he wants to say it's less impressive for ships to go from one planet to another across the universe than it is for Gotenks to go around the planet a few times? That's just absurd. I honestly could have pressed him more on this, but I thought just stating that would have been enough. But apparently the voters didn't remember things like this, which is why all voting should be left up to me. Another argument I thought was interesting was when he was trying to imply that because Buu was created for death and destruction, it meant that destroying the universe was likely Bibbidi's plan. Maybe it was his plan, but that argument is no better than saying any country that creates and uses weapons of mass destruction has the goal of destroying the world. Now I would like to bring up how he said I was shifting the burden of proof, when I really wasn't. I said Boo could have teleported or traveled on Bibbidi's ship. He said I had to prove that. Then I asked him to prove Boo didn't. He then thought that was me shifting the burden of proof, which it actually wasn't. I know it sounds like it was, but let me explain. All I needed for my argument to work was to show it was just as likely that Boo was teleported or used a ship than it was for him to fly across the universe himself. I did not need to prove he actually used those methods. Once I brought up a reasonable doubt, then everything is up in the air and we don't know which method he used. If we don't know which method he used, you can't convincingly say he has infinite speed, because you would need to prove that's the method he used over the others. They tried to argue Boo's nature or personality makes it more likely for him to fly on his own. But talking about what he would do based off his personality is guessing what his behavior would be, aka probability. The same thing they accused me of using in my arguments. True at the end of the debate was also trying to give me some debating advice at the end. And he seems like a nice guy, and I appreciate him trying to help. But he himself tried to ask me what the evidence against Boo flying with Bibbidi was, even though the absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. And since for my point to work I didn't actually have to prove he used that method, me needing to provide evidence isn't necessary. And me not being able to provide evidence doesn't disprove my point. And then he later harps on my arguments from probability, but then argues from probability himself by trying to guess what Boo would do based off his personality like I already mentioned. The last thing I'll talk about is the Super Manga. There was a little miscommunication with Arrow, thinking I said the Super Manga wasn't canon to the original manga. But what I was trying to say was that it wasn't part of the Super Anime canon. The original manga is the most solid canon there is. The Kai anime is a recut and remaster of the original anime, trying to be more like the manga. And the Super Anime is a continuation of Kai. However, this does not mean the Super Manga can't also be a continuation of the original manga. It's just a different version, just like how the movies are. The fact the canon movie Broly didn't have Goku and Vegeta using their anime-only Super Saiyan Blue KO canon evolution forms should be proof enough that not all canon of Super directly lines up. The manga is actually still going on and has already surpassed the Broly movie and moved on to an entirely new arc, yet there's no anime right now. Is the Super Manga still not canon? Even if it wasn't, Toriyama works directly with Toyotaro, the mangaka behind the Super Manga. And Toyotaro has even designed a bunch of the Gods of Destruction. Toriyama even said in an interview he wants Toyotaro to come up with more of the stories for Dragon Ball Super. Clearly, the Super Manga has some form of canosity. Speaking of the Super Manga, it actually heavily implies, if not outright proves, the Dragon Ball universe isn't infinite in size. As it states, Earth is on the edge of the universe. How can you be on the edge of something infinite? Jacko also mentioned how the number of galaxies in the universe is crazy high. However, that would imply it's a limited number. He didn't say there would be an infinite amount of galaxies. So that would imply the universe isn't infinite, because you can't have an infinite-sized universe with a limited amount of galaxies. So that's two statements from the Super Manga practically proving the Dragon Ball universe isn't infinite. I kind of wish I remembered these when I was in the debate, but he would have just shut them down saying, they aren't canon, even though that isn't even true. The Super Anime also presents the 12 universes of the Dragon Ball world as limited containers. I did remember this, but I just didn't use it because you could argue it's just a visual representation they use that are easy for our little human brains to understand. But you could argue it's more evidence as well. Okay, that's about all I have to say. I think this video's gone long enough.
Actually, it's been too long for my taste.
Let me know what you thought about the debate in the comment section. Who won, what you thought of my analysis of the debate, and if you actually think Goku and Boo have infinite speeds during the Boo saga, without instant transmission.
No one can comprehend my power and cunning! What? No, it can't be! Curse you! I don't believe it. I could have killed him. I let him go. I let him go.